Here is what we know at the moment. Back in our top story, ISIS claims responsibility for an attack in Texas as we learn more about one of the gunmen's ties to terror. It turns out Elton Simpson first fell on the FBI's radar back in 2006 when an informant started secretly recording their conversations, and a lot of them. Simpson's family now issued this statement a moment ago. It says, "We are sure many people in this country are curious to know if we had any idea of Elton's plans. To that we say, without question, we did not. Just like everyone in our beautiful country, we're struggling to understand how this could happen." Reaction now from Republican Senator Kelly Ayotte of the Homeland Security Committee. We said intel a short time ago, but it's Homeland Security. And thank you for coming back to our program here, Senator.
Thank you, Bill.
I know you have not yet been briefed. What can you add to this story now?
Well, I think what it shows you is what a threat ISIS is to our homeland. And we need to put this in perspective. The fact that they've claimed responsibility, whether they were inspired by ISIS or had direct communications with ISIS. In the last month, in April, we had 6 arrested in Minnesota for attempting to travel to Syria and join ISIS. You had the man from Ohio that actually did travel to Syria who came back to the United States and was planning attacks on our country. We had the Army recruiter who was going to join ISIS, and also along with a member of the Guard. So this is all in April alone. So this is a real threat to us, and making sure that we address, we're going to have a hearing in the Homeland Security Committee on ISIS use of social media, their recruitment, and how our intel is gathering and how we're working with our allies to take the fight to ISIS overseas so they aren't continuing to attack us.
When is that hearing?
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay. Now, just because ISIS says it doesn't make it true. Do we need our own federal authorities to verify this claim?
Well, absolutely. The FBI is investigating this. Our federal authorities have to fully investigate it on 2 fronts, Bill. Did they have any direct communications with ISIS, or was this self-radicalized and they were inspired by ISIS? Both are equally troubling. We need to understand the facts. And I think also look at the history of the communications that Simpson had, and whether there's more that should have been done there in terms of addressing his behavior.
Yeah. I mentioned these recordings, a lot of them, 1,500 hours. Here is one sample. "If you get shot or you get killed, it's heaven straight away. That's what we are here for, so why not take that route?" Gives you an idea of the mindset here.
Right.
And these recordings, they went for 1,500 hours. Yet through all of that, you had a guilty charge on a minor charge, lying to a federal agent. And I think the point there to be made is that that shows how hard it is to detect and how difficult it is to stop.
I think you're right, Bill, and I think it also, we have to look at this case and see, what do we learn from it? How do we make sure that when we have this kind of evidence, that in the future we're able to stop someone in advance? And so we have to look at that, look at what they're doing in terms of communicating with ISIS, and how do we further ensure that we're actually ahead of these attacks instead of reacting to them. But you can see right there that this is ISIS. They are incredibly brutal, horrific, and they are inspiring these attacks, not just what happens in Iraq and Syria, but we can see it in our homeland, and that's where we have to be incredibly vigilant.
That's a great point. Their strategy changes all the time, and so must ours. Here's another sample of that recording, okay, from Simpson. Quote, "They're trying to bring democracy over there, man. They're trying to make them live by man-made laws, not by Allah's laws. That's why they get fought. You try to make us become slaves to man? No, we slave to Allah. We're going to fight you to the death." And that is the state of mind, Senator.
That is the state of mind, and they're obviously willing to martyr themselves. This is radical Islam. You know, we have to call it for what it is, and we have to go after it and understand that this ideology that does not value life, they are willing to give their own lives and kill other people for this radical view of Islam.
Yeah. As you point out, you need to match their focus, because certainly they are. Senator, thank you for your time today. Kelly Ayotte from Capitol Hill, thank you.